Alright, and now is the time to see whether things are actually online or not. We
Yeah.
play the
We
game.
play the game.
Are we actually online or not?
Are,
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
are we alive? Oh
Do-do-do-boop-a-doo.
my god, it cooperated with us.
It's cooperating.
Yeah, because not only did it
It's a
say that
cooperation.
we are live, I also felt my phone buzz, meaning I must have gotten the notification that
You
we
must
are
have gotten
live.
the notification.
Wow.
Alright. Are we ready, everybody?
Oh, yes, now we are
What
ready.
about you, Warhammer Dad? Are you ready?
I am always ready.
Ever ready.
Unless it's a day that ends in Y, then I'm not ready.
Alright. Okay, so let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Weekly WAYPN. I'm Cal.
I'm Sonny.
And we have with us...
Warhammer Dad.
Warhammer Dad!
Hooray.
I'm back.
You're back.
Alright.
Like the Batman.
Alright, so... who would like to kick us off with John at the start?
Not it. No, just kidding. I'll go. The whites always appear chalky despite thinning. Paints used Hero Paints. Oh, I've never heard of this brand before.
Yeah, I haven't heard of Hero Paints, but we'll take a look. And white is notorious for being chalky, but I think the issue is that you're using a pure white. And of course, the moment that I switch to this one, it's like, no, we're not gonna let you.
Not gonna work out, man.
Yeah, we're not gonna work out. It's like me realizing my diet's failing. We're not gonna work out, man.
Oh,
Oh, I'm not touching that one.
as you do.
So Cruz,
I think it might be just too thin because I can see how the paint is pooling.
mm-hmm.
So I think he might have used a bit too much water with this particular brand of white. Maybe if he used just a tad less water.
I think what he needs to do is he needs to do a grey.
Yeah.
Warhammer Dad, what do you
Yeah, I was
think?
literally gonna say back, and I'm just turning my head to check. Yeah, I believe when I was doing my Space Wolf army, I went like grey first. I think it was like
yeah,
grey, sear grey. Go down on that first, and then white over top. Because yeah, white straight on to black, you're gonna have to do half a dozen coats to get that, and then you've lost a lot of detail, and you're gonna have a physical difference in height because you'll have 5 coats of white on almost a straight black. So yeah, maybe try a grey, a very light grey, then go white.
That's what we said last time. So let's see if there's been more info taken up on that one. So I do believe that quite a few other people got back to Brian on this one about the best magnet sizes to use. So I do believe I use 5x2 or something like that. That's the ones that I use the most, I do believe. But like the thing is, it's not something I'm an expert on. So I figured I'm just gonna leave this one with everything else going on.
Yeah.
So Warhammer Dad, have you used magnets at all?
Yeah, back in my younger days, I did on a few different things. Some for bases, like he's asked. Others for joints, for like different weapons. Especially when I was doing the knight, I put all magnets through so I could take guns off, put different guns on.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say, 5 or a 10 sound about right, something like that, because it was a bigger magnet for the bigger models. But that was depending on what you were really using it for. So I was using mine to magnetize to a carry case so they wouldn't shift around. If you're using it for other things, yeah, you might want to go smaller ones if it's for joints, if it's for I know a friend of mine back in the day, he used magnets for the turrets for tanks, so they would still physically stick but could rotate. So
Yeah, yep.
it's kind of what are you using it for?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
govern pretty hard what you're gonna have size wise.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
So next up, we've got John with a bit more work done. I have to say, compared to the previous one, I'm having a bit of trouble. I think it's a bit more work on the cloak.
I wonder if he's added a wash or something.
Mm.
Or maybe we should just go further up. I think he's got more shots of updates, right?
Yes, I do believe he has another update after this one. But before we move on to that one, we have.
We have Gareth Higgins.
Mhm.
Next project. I've been asked to paint up this Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. Going to get it to a tabletop standard and try and do some step-by-step updates for WAYPN this time. Yay! Updates.
I like this. Bin. Very exciting.
Very exciting bit. What you need,
Undercoat bin.
What you need is a little Oscar to put inside the bin, and then it'll be exciting again.
Hey, actually, once it's stippled with the rust, it looks, really good.
It looks like a real aluminium can.
I think it
looks great.
Yeah, it looks good. But like he really should have like done a post on each of these, because like I take a look at these and there's some great images. I like how he goes through the step by step, which I think is good. But I think like each of these could be their own post. What do you think, Warhammer Dad?
Yeah, I guess either way, I'm quite impressed with, like, this is what I've done. He's even showing the paint so that if someone is
Yeah,
like, I'm looking at the street lights and he's got the paint to get that effect,
yeah,
which is always handy for people like myself when I see what people have done and go, oh, I can potentially use that effect on a different project. It might not be for streetlight, it might be flames for torches, lanterns, whatever, but I can steal this idea and this paint
Oh wow, look
for
at
that.
that.
yeah. No, that's amazing.
I love the gloss effect of the black, which really makes it pop and make it realistic.
Is that gloss or is that a flat black? That looks more like a flat black to me.
I don't know, because
I
I can see
can-
the little dots on the side of the two. Maybe he's painted that on manually or something.
Oh,
that
no,
looks
those
like
dots
it's
are
painted
manual.
on
Oh,
manually
manual.
painted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that really tricked me. You fooled me, Gareth. You fooled me. So
Yeah,
I guess you
But I tell
a
you
good
what,
job with
that's
that.
some really good
freehand.
Yeah, that's amazing freehand. Like very, very impressive. But like
Especially for terrain, like
yeah.
this
Yeah.
is pretty damn good. Like you got to be happy with that result.
Mm.
That's
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah, and like he's like, this is tabletop, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. I just look at my stuff and go, okay.
Well, we shall
Just-
not pass on the depression, boys.
Okay.
It is
If you say so. Wait,
Look
Do
at
we-
all these
do we not have to
bins.
pass on the depression, or can we make an active choice on that one way
Yes,
or
you
the
gotta
other?
pass. It's WAYPN.
All right, but
Sharing is caring, though.
wow, look at all of the way that he's done the little
chipping.
dints and scratches. Just that's really good.
I wonder how he did them. Like he just
Well,
scratched it off.
he explains as he goes along.
Oh,
So
in the comments, right? Okay.
yeah, so stippled and streaked paint onto the brown edges. Extra attention given to the corners as they are most likely to be damaged. So he's done that all manually, and I think we've got a final image of it right here.
That's very nice.
And like I think, like it's crazy to say this, but that's the worst of the two. I think the red one came out really, really well, and just
I don't know. They look kind of same sort of quality to me.
yeah, no, I just think that the scratches come up really good.
on the
Which
red.
one do you prefer? Warhammer?
Yeah, I would like it. They're both fantastic. If I would have to pick hand on heart, I would probably say, yeah, the red one as well, just with the level of weathering, dent, scratches, even how he's done the, I'm going to butcher the word, the oxidization on the pitbull symbol.
Yeah, the verdigrease.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, he's used a GW technical paint he
Yeah.
has mentioned higher up.
Yes, he has.
Which,
So
yeah,
up here
that's
is where he's used it. It's the neck of neckbeard
yep.
oxidized.
Neckbeard oxide.
Yes,
It's
fancy made up word followed
I
by
think
another word oxidized.
it's either Nilac or Nilac oxide.
But like I really actually like the what's their name? The Dirty Down.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I think that they do really well when it comes to this stuff. I think that they do absolutely fantastic when it comes to some of these ones because I think that when it comes to some of the stuff, it's very hard to use, but when it's plastic, I think it looks fantastic. So the his next one is one of the cars, right? But I just have to say, my dude, make posts of these. Holy cow, make posts of these because like this is like legit proper tutorial stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like somebody would look for this and like yeah, just like
We
put a
should-
hashtag tutorial or
Yeah, we need to have a hashtag tutorial, like with the dungeons and lasers one.
yeah, like how they do it.
They
Yeah,
have it that because like I used to do this sort of stuff too when we were doing the dungeons and lasers
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And then the group admin was like, "Oh, put it in the hashtag tutorials." We should start something.
Yeah. But anyway, so we've got the casual tanker on, and
Welcome.
they just said hey, but we're gonna move on to our next project,
Okie dokie.
and I do believe that's more from John.
Yep.
Okay.
Whip, Deathwing Knight Sergeant. I feel like I've kind of improved from this one. Looking for ways to make him pop out more, though. Pop out more.
Okay, so let's get your thoughts, Warhammer Dad, and then we'll go on.
So probably the first thing, I'm guessing they've done the chipping on the knee pads. That's looking pretty good. One thing that I noticed straight away is on that sword, you've got the two spikes either side. Just below that, is that like a paint, like, I don't know, over painted on that area? So that would be just to the left of where your mouse is now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I do believe it
It
does
looks
look
like it's covering up some of that writing, but that's neither here nor there. I guess at this stage, yeah, probably use some more defined colors to bring out some of this extra detail
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
the belt buckle painted differently. The weathering, like I said, you can see on that left foot, if you're looking at the
Mm-hmm.
at the
Yeah.
photo, that's pretty cool. The knee guard that's on that opposite leg on the right, that's pretty cool with the chipping. I think that's done very well.
Well,
Actually,
see,
Warhammer Dad, I think that is his attempt at an edge highlight.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
So I think for that, it's way too bright of a highlight for the color of armor that he's going for. It's almost like a white, or I can tell that it's a pale gray. But for if you're going for black armor,
yeah, it's far too bright,
it's
is what
far
you're
too
saying.
bright, especially without
Well-
a transitionary tone.
Yeah, like I feel that with
With
this,
these
yeah, go for it.
death wings, did you say? Sorry?
Yeah, I do believe they are Deathwing.
Because I was about to say that kind of thick edging would be similar to Iron Hands. They would have that quite a noticeable trim. Because my oldest has Iron Hands, and that would be pretty close to how I've done a lot of their Terminators.
Well,
But
see,
if it's
the
Yeah,
Deathwing,
it's Deathwing. Yeah.
so the thing is that if you want to do that right, I think you can do a thicker highlight color if you do a thinner one within that highlight.
Right, yeah. So you build up the gradient a bit.
Well, not that you build up the gradient, right, but it looks like there's a sheen and then like a peak sheen.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But still, I believe that the color is far too bright for it to sort of work.
You would want a gray that's 2 shades lighter than the black, from the black that you've gone.
Yeah.
So it should be a black and then a dark gray for highlighting black.
I'd,
So,
I'd,
yeah.
I'd agree with that. And I think some of this red needs to be cleaned up
Oh yeah,
a fair bit as well.
I do think there's a lot of cleanup necessary, and
mhm.
smoothing out. But I think he's trying to go for a lava sword.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. So the sword is coming along nicely. Of all of the elements that we see here, I'd say that the sword is looking the nicest. But the thing is, he needs to include those jutting things, as Warhammer Dad said.
Yeah.
And with that, he should probably have them go to a warm orange and then like stipple some brown and black around it as if like it's the cooling area because it's the furthest out.
Because it's usually the center that still
Yeah.
holds the heat. You would want to take a look at some reference pictures. We've seen lots of shorts showing how you can do
lava swords.
So
yeah, they look really good. All right. Well, next up we have
more from John.
and I do believe this is the guy from earlier that we were looking at. So he looks a lot more complete now. Warhammer Dad, would you like to give us your first impression?
Yep. Well, the white is definitely a bit more solid now. It's not as transparent. It does look like a little bit of bleed over on some of the skulls on the right-hand side, but that's, once again, it's work in progress. That will be fixed up in time. Other than that, yeah, it's definitely coming along. You can start to see more detail now being worked on. The eyes, I'm guessing he's done the glow effect. A little bit hard to see.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
On my screens, but that's turning out pretty damn well. I always struggle with lenses when I've done Space Marines. It's normally just
I think eyes
shots.
lenses are always just an issue for people for full
Yep.
stop. Like I don't think anybody has a good time with them. But I still feel like this white is quite bright. I feel like he's got a better idea for it on the actual parchment that he's doing, right? But the parchment could use a highlight at the tips, the edge highlight. You still keep that slight shadow there.
Yeah.
But you put a slight highlight there to sort of indicate the filigree work. Because it's got a slight bend.
Yeah.
But like I think like you said, Warhammer Dad, it's coming along nicely. All right. Should we move on to our next?
Yep, we've got I think it's pronounced Navi. I'm not too sure if it's Navi or Navy. Dion Avlis. Sharing a whip of mine, just some extra minis for the kill team I'm building up. This is the first time I painted skin by mixing my own paint. I watched some tutorials about skin tones, and I've always been skeptical about starting it with some hue of orange and adjusting it as you go. But I think it turned out pretty well.
So I think it's quite a good skin.
Yeah.
But it also depends on what you're aiming for. So like if you're aiming for like a more North African skin, I think you're a little off. It's a lot lighter than a North African sort of skin. Like it would be darker. This would very much be like, for example, a Native American sort of skin tone.
Yeah.
With the levels of red you've got in there, right? And so the thing is, like, that's what really helps us. Tell us what you're aiming for, because that's our goal, to help you aim up. I think that when it comes to the face and the highlights and the way that you've done it, like, you're hitting the right areas for the peaks. And also, I'm pretty sure that's him and not the light, so I'm going to zoom in on it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he did that. What's that called? The reflective
specular highlight.
Yeah, the reflective dot on him, and I think that looks really good.
Yeah, it's just the right spot.
Warhammer Dad, your thoughts?
For a first go, like he's mentioned, this is the first time he's done skin tones.
The orange highlight to thingy. Yep. Continue, please.
That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be happy with that. Like, I've struggled with that. Hence why a lot of the models that I've painted are normally head to toe in armor, because they're the easiest. Got to be happy with that. Like, that's very impressive for a first go.
Yeah.
Even the is it the tunic or the robes?
Yep, I'll go back to the more full image here. Yep.
Very impressive. Like, yeah, that you're doing exceptionally well. White would be the only thing that I've gone, yeah,
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 there's
same.
a bit of work,
Uh,
but yet again, white and yellow, they're just hard to paint. So
Yep.
I don't want to sit and, have a go when, yeah, I struggle. I
yeah.
don't paint
No, no,
white
no.
anymore. Same with yellow.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I totally picking up what you're putting down, but
Yeah.
with that, like, I think that, like, if the skin is what he's aiming for, right, I think you're right. He's done a really good job. I think that reflective dot is just
Yeah, chef's kiss.
beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. Like, I do think that he wants to go a bit darker with it. If he's going for like a North African skin tone sort of
Yeah,
thing.
I do think the only point of improvement here is like Warhammer Dad said, the white. I think it just needs one more coat to really fix up the patches, and then a wash of Soul Blight Gray to help it settle in all the right places and shade the white, and maybe do a bit of smoothing on the tunic because I do see the highlights at the very base of the tunic is a bit too
It's
quick.
it's a bit
quick.
rough at the moment,
Yeah.
but like I'm pretty sure it's a whip judging by everything else going
Yeah.
on because
yeah.
he did say
If you
sharing
look
a
at
whip.
the skin tone, you go, that's how talented he is. Yeah, he's clearly just started blocking things in on the robe, and yeah, he's just taken a picture. So I would say, yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably
But
halfway done and gonna
we'll
look pretty good when it's done.
we'll
Yeah.
look forward to seeing where it's going. But yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. But I think the other thing that would be really good is if he actually told us like what sort of skin tone he's aiming
Yeah.
for, that sort of thing, because like that way we can give better advice.
Yeah. And we can-
Because like if he's like we said, if he's going for that more reddish skin tone, he has absolutely nailed it, right? But if he's going for a darker skin tone, like he just needs to shift things ever so slightly.
Yeah.
But next up, we've got James.
James, I have a question for the Space Marine experts. Is there a canon color for crack grenades? Yeah. Or what are the colors for grenades for the Space Marines? Still have lots to do. Will be a bit of work to finish.
So, I like greys, but Warhammer Dad, you definitely know the Space Marines, don't you?
Oh, yes. Damn. Now I got to think. I've done a lot of greens.
Yeah.
You've done
I
a lot
think.
of greens, yeah.
Yeah, I think back in the day, someone showed me like a frag grenade that like the US military has, and it's more of a darker green looking color, or at least that's the one that I saw, and I went, cool, that's what it's going to be. And I think I've done the vast majority of mine in that color. Just trying to think if I did different ones for different chapters. I'm pretty sure they're all the same. I might have did silver for the Blood Angels.
Mm-hmm. So when I take a look, it seems like we've got green smoke, we've got white smoke, we got yellow smoke and purple smoke from what I'm seeing. But I don't actually think is that one that he's throwing a smoke grenade, or is it
It seems to be a smoke grenade, yeah.
because he said that it was a crack grenade, which is the anti-armor, but I'm not sure. But I think just like a grayish white would be good. But yeah, so that's
normally I think most painters we see online they go for like either a silver or a black grenade.
oh no, I'm talking about the smoke specifically.
Oh, the smoke. Oh, well then I don't know what to say about that one.
All right, next up we've got Marcel.
Marcel. For the last few weeks, only Sundays, I worked on my Lionel Johnson. Only a few things left and he is ready, but I'm proud on him already and my progress. He's looking good.
Yeah, no, he is looking very good. Warhammer Dad, your thoughts?
Very impressive. These Primarch models in general are just notorious for huge amounts of detail. And then the detail somehow multiplies. As you may No, Henry.
Yes, yeah. So the thing is with this, I think these are one of the few models where we go, yeah, they've got the right amount of detail. I just wish that a common soldier and a Primarch didn't have a similar level of detail.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's the only issue I have with it. So I think he's looking good, but I do think that his undercloak needs a bit of work.
Mm,
So if we take a look at the undercloak, I do believe,
yeah.
yeah, it's just a bit rough. And like some highlights for those golds would be good. But other than that, it's all pretty good. Like I think
Very
it's
clean and all the elements pop nicely, I would say.
mm, mm, mm. But I would also like to see like maybe some grass or like gravel or something on the rest of the base. Like that base does look nice as it is, but it feels
Like it does need a bit more, I
yeah.
think. Especially for a lion model, I
Mm,
think.
mm, mm. Well, let us move on to the next. So we've got some more from John.
Yeah, more whips, he says.
All right. Well, Warhammer Dad, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, he's bringing in more of the detail. I believe this is a different model from the previous one that we saw, but yeah, you can see that you got the detail coming through with the chains. The shields definitely coming along.
Actually, I think it is the same one because you take a look at that sword. Now it's blue for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Because you see up the top that.
Yeah, I see it's the same sword, but, yeah, he
Must be a
must.
different shield though.
So he's taken the sword off the model. And he's
Oh,
left the
okay. Is
shield
it?
on.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a different shield.
I think the other shield we looked at was for a different Terminator.
Right, okay.
So I think this is for a different Terminator. This is sort of the classic Dark Angel look, but yeah, continue Warhammer Dad. Sorry for interrupting.
No, I was about to say, yeah, it looks like it's all coming along. Like, yeah, the more details getting picked up now and highlighted, so it is progressing nicely.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say with some of that armor, it does look like you've got a bit of bleed over from one area to another, so you might have to go back and touch that up down the track.
Yeah, it
Once
does look
again,
there's quite a bit of bleed over, you're correct.
it
Yeah.
depends on how, if you're only just starting, yeah, cool. You're doing well. If it's getting towards the end and you think you're almost finished, yeah, there'd probably just be a bit of tidying up to look at. But yeah, not bad.
Yeah, no, I think it's coming along. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. All right. Next up,
We've got Cassidy Rose. It's been a while, but I had time to chip away. Soon I'll have them finished.
all right, Warhammer Dad, what are your thoughts?
Oh, not this guy. No, the what is that? The combi? Is it the combi bolter? The one that's got the flamethrower and the heavy bolter? That's looking very impressive, nice and crisp on that one. The power sword, which if I recall correctly, he's done a few of those and they've always looked pretty damn impressive. But overall, colors are nice and tight. There's no like bleed overs or scuff or anything like that that's come through. They are looking very impressive. I'm assuming this looks to be a kill team.
Yeah, I
by the
think
looks
so.
of it.
I do believe like that's just how Deathwatch operate. Regardless, they've always got specialists. The only thing that I look at is I think that Deathwatch arm is quite bright. I think like the Deathwatch arm shoulder pad being quite bright and the Deathwatch arms being quite bright, very good. But I feel like the other medals could be taken down quite a bit. So if we take, for example, the daggers and the bolt pistol, they shouldn't be competing with the shoulder for their brightness. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can agree and disagree. Like, yeah, I see where you're coming from, and I guess probably overall you would be correct with your experience. But I don't know. I like how the shoulder guard stands out
Yeah, no, I'm saying
more
that.
than everything else.
No, I'm saying the shoulder guard should stand out more. Like that,
Mm.
the other steels should be even darker. So like,
Oh, you reckon?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like because I think not so much with this one, not so much with the heavy bolter guy, heavy bolter slash heavy flamer, but like for example, right here with the blood angel with the power
Mm.
maul, I think is what these things are
I
called.
would not know.
Yeah,
Looks like a thunder hammer. Could be either or.
I'm not sure. I like
A warhammer hammer.
yes, it's a
Yeah.
warhammer.
Yeah.
But like it feels quite bright, and the knife feels quite bright compared to the shoulder pad.
Right, okay. Yeah. So you reckon he should go with a lead belcher or something?
Yeah, something
A bit
darker.
darker.
Like I think with some of them, they're quite good, and they've come together quite well. Like the bolters here and that sort of thing.
Yep.
But once again, we see the knife, and it's just bright as.
Yep.
But yeah, and like even this could be taken down a little, or an effect could be given to the
Yeah, I
power
think
maul.
he is trying for a little bit of that blue glow light.
Well, he's got the blue glow just on the end of the power node.
Oh,
like it's
you're saying the whole node should
yeah.
be
Well,
blue.
I mean, like maybe do a very light contrast to give a glow, centering there, right, so that it's not competing with
The shield.
well, not the shield, but not competing with the shoulder slash arm for its level of brightness.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much all I've got to comment on that one. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to add?
Nope, we're all good.
All right,
No, I'm pretty good. Yep.
let's move on.
We've got our good boy,
Yes,
Larry Huthenflew.
yes.
Techno archaeologist is done. Clipped the end off an old pipette to make a rusty pipe or weapon barrel, or who knows what he has to dig it up to find out. Added pigment to the base and bottom of the robes for dust. Added a touch of gray to black of the AdMech logo. But I'm not sure how visible it is.
Well, Dad, how do you think it's going?
Man, to see how far this has progressed, it's been a couple of weeks now, I think he's been working on
I
this
do
model.
believe
And
so.
to kind of see, like, if it's not finished, it's, I would say he's pretty much there. It's fantastic to see. I'm greatly impressed with I guess, the dusting around the bottom. It looks like if I
Yes.
go to pick up that model, it's going to be all over my fingers. It's going to be all over the desk. Like, it looks like it is, it is covered in red dust. And I go, that's a fantastic effect to
Mm.
get
Yeah.
that, where just looking at it, I go, man, I feel like it's already on my damn hands and it's going to
Yeah.
wreck the office.
But
And I go, got to be happy with that effect. That's
not
very
just
impressive.
that, but also the skull. The skull seems
Mm-hmm.
to be quite tainted by it, but like you can see spots of its original color still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I think that looks really good. And the pipe is just a nice touch. And guys, this is what I'm talking about with 3 elements: cracked earth, a pipe, and a skull, right?
Yeah.
This is not a complicated base, right? But it's got those 3 elements there. But yeah, so I think it's looked very much finished for a while. The only thing, if anything, that I would say is that maybe the dust effect goes relatively high. So we can see some of it up here. Now, Brushstrokes gave me this tip, but one of the things that you might want to do is get a piece of blue tack on the end of any sort of stick. Just, toothpick,
stick,
what are the skewer
Skewers,
sticks?
yeah.
They called skewer sticks. That I thought they'd
Coffee
have a
stirrer
more
sticks, whatever stick you've got.
yeah, and just dab to
Fade it out.
yeah, to dab to fade out that thing. and like that's that's pretty much a taste thing. Like the only things that I see that could be improved are taste things. So like I look at the crenulations.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm not quite sure about them being faded in the way that they are, because if they're fabric, they wouldn't be quite faded like that, would they?
No, I mean, he did mention that he struggled a bit to make the crenulations perfect and all that. So I think that's just a remnant of how he's painted
Okay,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when I look at everything else, right, I'm like, there is just so much detail on this freaking thing.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Like, it exhausts me, and I haven't painted this model. I just look at it, and I'm like...
Why does a techno-archaeologist need so much stuff anyway?
Well, he's got to have all of the dangly bits so that GW can justify their prices.
Alright.
But yeah, so before we move on, I think all of us are going to say, Larry, absolutely fantastic job.
Knocked it out of the park, as they say.
Alright, so next up we have... Oh, it's Member Monday. So story time, guys.
Ooh.
We met a fan in the wild. We went to this expo, and there was a lot of historical stuff, and we're just sort of like,
Unfortunately, not our crowd in terms of
Yeah.
things we'd like to get. but
oh yeah. There was a very distinct crowd. I think like dads over 40 is essentially that crowd there. I'd say that was the vibe it sort of gave off.
Yeah, so essentially how this happened was we started talking about... I asked what one of the products was, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's just a wet palette." And he was explaining it to me, and then Cal says, "Oh, Henry," he says, "Oh, you could just make it yourself." And
No,
then
I said we make ours ourselves.
yeah, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know people make their own wet palettes." And then I go to basically verbally explain it, but he's like, just show him the short that we did. Just show him the short, and it's easier. And I was like, I know how these things go. Every time we go to look for a picture or a video, something's just... the Wi-Fi is not working or whatever. So I'm just like, let's not deal with that. It's very fast. I can explain it, right? But Henry's like, just show him the video. Just show him the video. Make it easier.
I found it in under 10 seconds.
Yes, I'm not arguing with you on that. I'm just saying
She was arguing the whole time.
Yes, but usually it's
Almost
a
got slapped in the
problem.
face.
Honey.
It's true.
Anyway, now I don't remember what I was talking about.
You were talking about the fan.
The fans say something. What happened? Something happened. Honey, what happened?
Here we go.
Yes, okay. I showed the shot. I showed the short. No, wait, you showed the short. You showed the short, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this short before, like seen these guys." And then I said, "Yeah, that's us. We're WAYPN." And he was like, "Wait, this is you? This is you guys?"
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Yeah, we are WAYPN." And it's like, "Oh my god, I didn't expect to see a YouTuber here of all places." Because like I think he only recently found the channel. He's been getting stuff in his feeds.
And we were talking to him about how to use colors. And then I think when we said something, he's like the 60-30-10 rule.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know the secrets.
The secrets to the universe is in this one rule.
But yeah, no, it was really fun meeting a fan in the wild, and it's really good seeing you guys out there.
Yeah.
So just be aware at any convention. We might be there. We might appear one day. We'll just be behind you.
Be like, who are you?
All right. Next up, we've got John Grass.
John Gas, honey, not John Grass.
I always get this mistake, don't I?
Trying to put some of your advice into practice on my Glotkin. I've tried to make the face more readable by adding more highlights. Not sure if it's working though. I like his eyeball.
Yeah, no, he's got very good eyes. So when you know what? I'm going to hold myself. Warhammer Dad, what are your thoughts?
It is phenomenally impressive. Like
Yeah.
the amount of detail, like the eyes, the pustules, how that he's even gone to the different colorations with the highlights on some of them. Like I don't really know what else to say. It is fantastic model.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, I'm just trying to think of any criticism or any advice I can give, and I just go. The only thing I could say is, would you sell this to me at an incredibly low price?
Indeed.
Uh,
So
DM me.
so I think the only difference is like he had a somewhat similar color of you see in here with the top of the head, and see I think it is a lot more readable. It's come out a bit more, so I'd have to click his name and go back to find his stuff, which is a bit of the issue with that. But I think it's looking really good. I think last time we commented on the pustules and all of that sort of thing, but I think with the highlights now being like each of the parts being very readable, and also I think like this area right here, like each of the bumps have been brought up
Yeah.
a bit more, but it has been a while. Also, I think you need to get a bit more consistent lighting because we've got this lighting here, right?
And
And
then
like
it's very
maybe
bright.
he's trying to show us like what it's like in different styles of lighting.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So I don't know. Updated leather strap reads better in person for some reason.
Leather strap.
I do believe see right here, I do believe we looked at that last time. And so right here, the leather strap blends in a bit. And like things reading better in person is just a thing. It's
Yeah.
a thing that happens. Like for
Yeah.
example,
Color
with the
shift.
yeah, that's what I was about to say too. And I think this just looks it looks phenomenal. Like if you put this down, your opponent's just going to be like, "Wow."
You can distract him with the model, and then he'll forget what he was trying to do, and then you win the game.
It's a sound plan.
Mm. Yes.
That's happened to me many times.
You being distracted?
Yes.
Who would have known?
Oh,
All right. So next up, we've got Jamie Cortez.
yep. Sounds to be the right way to say it.
Yep.
Hi, yesterday I finished the Space Marine. I hope you like it and congratulations for your YouTube channel. I'm a big fan. Greetings from Spain. Hello!
So the only thing I'll ask is if next time you can, rather than link an Insta, just put it in the Facebook.
Yeah, because like oftentimes with Instagram we'll have to like log in, or like if it's cooperating like it is now,
Yeah.
it's not gonna show that pop up because like once you stay on Instagram and you're not logged in, it'll say like, oh, you gotta log in to view and blah blah blah. And
Yeah, it often gives us troubles. But
Yeah.
Warhammer Dad, your thoughts?
The colors I'm quite impressed with, like I guess the color of the bolt gun, the armor, quite impressed. The trim on that shoulder pad, very nice. The only thing I would say is maybe look, if you can, bring out some of the highlights. So like the bolt magazine, that would probably be metallic
Yeah.
silver looking color. The barrel of the gun would probably also be silver. There's a leather pouch that would probably be more of a brown.
Or
But
black, yeah.
once again, it's quite good how it is. It's more just personal preference. If you do want to, I don't know, go up
Yeah.
another level,
Yes.
maybe look at bringing out some of the highlights. There's buttons there that have just still in that blue. You could change that, paint them different colors.
Yeah, and so this is one of the issues when it comes to a lot of these sorts of things. So I do believe he's going for like really quick tabletop because I do believe this is the dry brush contrast technique, right? But this is one of the issues is we like for us we need to know what you're aiming for, right? Because if you're aiming for just tabletop, you can leave it here. I think the only thing that you're going to have to look out for in the future is your overbrushing of the gold, because we can see up around there. I think it might be the first one where it's a bit more obvious. Unfortunately, metallics sort of stand out like dog's bollocks. Like when they
You could have said a sore thumb, but sure.
A sore thumb. Well, I didn't say the other way of saying
Yes, still.
dogs. But yes. So I think it's good and all, but I don't think it's the best. So if you obviously you can start working on things, that sort of thing. But if you want just tabletop, this is fine. And it's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with just aiming for tabletop, just getting your miniatures on, because it's about what your goal is. It's not about what our goal is or somebody else's goal. You know, Warhammer Dad always craving perfection.
Yes, except when it comes to life.
The only comment I would give is that I think he could have gone with a different gun color, because he's got blue and a different type of blue that's pretty close to the blue that he's already got. I feel like if he just went with the classic silver and black, that would really help.
Yeah, maybe it would certainly break this up a lot.
Yeah, and you got your main elements pop out, right? Because we say tabletop means that every element is readable and picked out. So ideally, yes, you would paint your pouches a different color, the grenades a different color, the buttons are maybe picked out. You could ignore the buttons; they're so small.
I think
cares,
you could ignore the buttons, and you could ignore the
ribbing between the plates, whatever.
Yeah.
But things like that, right? But at the very least, if you're gonna go with what are the main things that people will focus on, would be the largest things that people focus on. Face, base, and whatever things that's there. So the gun is the next largest thing, so that needs to be picked out completely different from your main body.
That might be his particular color scheme. But let us move on, shall we?
Oh yes.
Alright, so next up, we had a Talk Tuesday, and this is something that I would like you guys to know. If you'd like to come on, but this is too late, too early, that sort of thing, we want to do this with you guys. We very much want to spend time with you guys and chat about hobbying.
Yeah.
And because especially afterwards we can chat about life and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But for us, this is sort of one of the highlights of our week when we've got a fan on.
It's kind of like our social excuse of the week, if you will.
And so big thanks to Warhammer Dad for coming on.
Yes, Warhammer Dad.
No, it is. Look, it's enjoyable to come on and we talk, I guess, on offline anyway about stuff that's being posted on WAYPN. So it is good to hear other people's opinion. I from my perspective, when I'm doing, I guess, comments or reviews on models with you guys, I'm coming at it from a point of a commissioner, because I get a lot of my models painted now. So I go, cool, I'm buying this model. I've asked for tabletop, character, showcase, whatever. That's how I view it, where, say, Cal would come from it as a painter. This is how he does it. Same as you. So it's always good to have a mixture of people's opinions.
Yeah.
Because they have different perspective. I can't paint to save my life, especially at the moment. But I do buy a lot of models painted. So that's how I view all of these models. Is right, I'm buying that. That I've paid someone money to paint it. What would be my criticism? What would I be asking to be redone, touched up, changed, whatever? So yes, I would recommend anyone listening. Yeah, if you can, definitely. Yeah, don't be afraid. They don't threaten you as much as they used to.
I see. We need to improve the threats.
Oh yes.
All right. So next up is Anthony Holmes.
Hey all, as mentioned in the Introduction Monday post, my name is Anthony, also known as Clotback. This is what I've been working on. Sorry for the picture quality, I guess 22% power doesn't take good shots. Lol. I recently finished my Elohi? Elohi? How do you say that?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm gonna say Elohai.
Yeah, Elohai from Kings of War by Mantic Games. I'm currently working on a Tyranid Combat Patrol from Games Workshop for a game I've got coming up in July. I hope I can get them painted in time. I recently discovered WAYPN videos on YouTube and have been really enjoying them. Other hobby channels I enjoy is Eons of Battle. I'd love to see an episode between you two, Squidma and Major Kill. I hope to see more of your videos and plenty of community conversions and paint jobs. Thank you very much for dropping by.
I'm not sure that we have enough pull to get Eons of Battle, Major Kill, and
Squidma. Definitely not. Well, Squidma is very big.
Yes, they're all very big. He's just like, here's the biggest YouTubers I know. You guys should definitely do things.
Do a collab with him. He thinks very highly of us. We should continue to keep it that way.
Yeah. We'll just
we're not as pathetic as we seem, Anthony. Thank you. Oh my god.
But yeah, no.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Well.
Hey.
So, I think that these have come up quite nice. I think that they've like got a sort of golden feel to them, right?
It's very old school, old hammer style.
It is very old school, old hammer style. But the one thing that I would say, right, is because I am pretty much the base guy. Like, if you do nice bases, I will love you forever.
Yes.
That's pretty much me.
He's the base doggo. Most dogs require food and love.
Cal requires
bases and love. The love can come from an external source, i.e. me. You don't have to be the lover of Cal.
Can you stop? But like I just wanted to talk about the bases before I throw to Warhammer Dad. So you see how the static grass is sort of to and fro and everywhere, right? I think this would have really benefited from one of those static electricity machines or just a statically rubbed balloon, you know? And, like, that's the only issue I have with it because it feels just a bit...
Flat? Is it
no,
flat?
No, a bit all over the place. You
but,
see how...
like, grass tends to look like that, yeah?
Well, like wild grass, when it's all that sort of thing, like when you see proper static grass brought up, you'll see what I mean. But Warhammer Dad, tell us what you think of the paint job. Let us know.
And it reminds me of an incredibly old game called, was it Heroes of Might and Magic 3? Like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man, I remember that game.
I'm using it as a laptop stand, in fact.
Yeah, no, we got the board game, Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
No, that was like one of the very first computer games I ever got. And
it's
as soon as I saw those models, that reminds me of that. But man, they look so good. I'm interested in the game itself. I guess I'm stepping a bit away.
The board game?
No, what is it called? I'm just scrolling up.
Mantic Kings of War.
What did we go? Elohai from Kings of War? Yeah, so Kings of War. I've never really heard of this game before, but I'm interested to hear more about it.
It's a Warhammer replacement, so it's meant to sort of be like Warhammer Fantasy Battles.
Okay. No, the models and the paint job itself, very impressed. Like the wings, I think he's done very well. The colors, perfect. It definitely stands out. I can see where you're coming from with the grass. I guess I'm probably not as picky with the bases. I go, yeah, it's a battlefield. Stuff's been walking over it, running over it. It's going to look a bit trashy.
Yeah,
but overall, they're very impressive models, and they look pretty tiny. Like, unless he's got massive hands, these look. They would have to be smaller than
No, I
than
think
a
that they're.
standard Space Marine.
I
You
think
reckon?
I think they're about a bit bigger than a Space Marine, maybe the size of a Custodes, because I'm fairly sure this is the bigger base size. So let's. You know what? Continue with your commentary, and I'm going to find a Mantic King of War. Elohai, is it?
Yeah, Elohi.
Elohi. Okay, yep. So continue with your commentary.
No,
Warhammer.
no. Well, that's pretty much it for those models. Like I said, they are just very impressive, and yeah, geez, it brought back a lot of memories of Heroes of Might and Magic. When it comes to the Tyranids, take it from someone who has a 4,000 point army of Tyranids, so that's about 300 models. For the love of all that is holy, pick a color scheme that is very easy.
Oh.
I have made much regret when I've gone, oh, the paint style will be like this. I have spent 2 hours painting this single Termagod. There will be another 70 of these to go. And
So,
very quickly I whitewashed it and started again.
go away thing. But yeah, it seems they're on 40mm bases.
Oh,
Oh, that's
okay.
pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, so here we go.
Oh, that
I'll
is-
just do the flippy flip. Okay, wrong flip. I've got to do the 180. Is that correct? No, I'm bad at this, guys. I am bad at
What
this.
are you doing?
Oh, it's a horizontal flip that I want, because otherwise. Alright, one sec. Just shh. Why are you always interrupting me, Sonny?
I didn't do anything.
I know, that's the point. So that's them. So they're 40mm big.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I didn't. It's actually great that you brought up this picture, because I thought this was like lightning coming out, but it's
Oh.
actually a flame sword.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
gone for like a blue flame or like lightning. But yeah, no, I don't think it's bad or anything. I just sort of wanted to. Oh, what have I done now? All
Okay,
right.
you got it. You got it.
All right, I'm leaving before things go all wrong. But yeah, so I think the wings could do with some more definition. I very much like the armor, but it's very gloss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very glossy yellow sort of thing. Yeah.
But I think like that as a gold can very much work, especially if he highlights up from there.
Yeah.
I think non-metallic metal, and when I take a look at the Tyranids, like Warhammer Dad is saying, just like, I just sort of feel like, ugh, you know,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work.
Yes.
All right, but yeah, so let us move on, shall we?
Just forge. It's forge.
It's Forge Katoan.
Yeah. And he said, done until I get decals. Just an average painter.
So, what do you think, Warhammer Dad?
for an average painter, definitely got some skill there. Probably would be good to have a few different photos of like different angles. I guess we've only got the one to work with.
I
I'm
think I think he really just wanted to do the Spanish Inquisition gag.
See.
Is this the Spanish Inquisition?
No, because he's like, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, so like it's in the background so that people don't notice it immediately. But
Memed.
It is me.
Now, I'm interested to see what's like with the gauntlets on the what is that left hand? They're all different, or at least two of them
yep.
seem to be different
Yeah,
patterns.
yep.
I'm not sure. I'm
I
guessing
see what
these are
you're saying.
the newer Terminators.
Yeah, it might be. I can't say one way or the other. But they look pretty done to me, unless he
Yeah.
wants to do different patterns on each of the gauntlets. But like that might be the Sergeant and 2IC. Like that.
Yep. Yeah, like one of the knee guards on the guy in the center that doesn't appear to be painted yet. Like that seems to be green. Yeah, that one there.
Yeah,
But once again, they're definitely not bad. Like if he's going for tabletop, I reckon he's done it. If
Oh,
he's
yeah,
wanting to go a
he's
bit
beyond
higher,
tabletop,
tabletop
yeah.
plus, yeah, there's definitely room for improvement here without anything major.
Yeah.
You can definitely build onto it. But yeah, no.
But one of the things I want to comment on, and behold everyone's surprise, it's the base.
The base.
Like, I think those bases are looking absolutely fantastic. And look, once again, there's the three elements there. I know you guys might be like, where's the three elements? But look at how the color shifts with the lava and the crackling rock on top, right? It gives that idea of, the flowing magma underneath. It's a really good bit of imagery. But yeah, I think it looks great. But let us move on, shall we?
Ooh, more from Forge.
Oh yeah, it looks
the
like
continuation of the Spanish Inquisition.
yes.
And you're getting some armor done in different stages, but getting there slowly. Yeah.
I think he's just showing the whole process, and like I think that's one thing that I like with Forge, is he comes in and he's just like, I've bought this.
Yes.
I'm constructing this.
Yes.
I'm painting this.
Yes.
I'm still painting this.
Yes.
I'm still painting this. I got a base done. I'm still painting this.
Now it's done.
Yeah, but like he shows the process from start to finish. He's like, I got this. This is my plan, and this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
Because like, I think a lot of people sort of like get intimidated some of the times, and they're like, oh no, what do I do? But it's time.
Well, a lot of times you see only the finished results, so you go, oh, that probably just took them a day. Yeah, I'm just a bad painter. And it's like, well, actually, no, they probably spent, weeks across it. Like, there is a massive process where, on a lot of channels and on other community groups, you only see the finished model. So you don't know. This took, 3 weeks to paint this because it was, 100 different layers, or we had to do this or do that. So it's always good when you see this of, these models don't come out perfect.
That's what WAYPN is about.
Out of
It's
the
all
box.
about the work in progress.
Yeah, it's about the works in progress. Yeah, very, very much so. And like I think for a lot of people that's one of their biggest issues. They go, oh, I can never do it, like you said, Warhammer Dad. But it's time. It's time for me to get ragged on.
Who is this?
It's Henry. It's Whip Wednesday. Hashtag Whip Wednesday. Sorry for missing the last weeks. We are insanely busy. I have actually done some more on these. I should have put these up last week, but I will be showing you more when Sonny gets the time to take some photos, which is at this rate never. But what are you making? What are you painting now? Make a post about it. All right.
Jeez, honey. Thanks for throwing me under the
I'm just saying that you're too busy with the actual doing of the job.
Shush. Don't tell people I'm too busy for you, honey. People will think poorly of me.
Well, people will think poorly of us regardless of what we do.
This is awkward.
I've read the YouTube comments section. I know how it
goes. That's true. This is true.
So Warhammer Dad, let us know what you're thinking of these ones. How about we start with the Jokero?
Yep. So I guess first things first, full disclosure, this is one of the commissions I am getting you to do for me.
Yeah.
So the Jokero, that's for the Blackstone Fortress, one of its many expansions. And then the Fox and Fox Ninja Girl, whatever you want to call it, that's for another game called Bushido. So just to be fully clear that yes, these are mine eventually. But no, the Jokero looking fantastic. I'm quite impressed with how he's coming along. I think if I recall,
he's finished now. If I've got an image of him somewhere, I'm gonna. You continue talking while I what do you call
Go off to find the thing.
Yes, which will
Good luck.
Take some very, very much so. Very much so. Good luck.
Did I take the finished picture or did you take the finished picture?
I don't know who takes pictures anymore of anything. I don't know how things work. I'm just sad most of the time.
But no, so with the Jokero, the I guess the skin color or the hair. I think that turned out quite good. That like the art that I gave you went cool. It needs to look like this picture. I think you got that pretty much spot on. So I'm pretty happy with how that progressed. Moving on to the fox and the fox ninja girl. I can't remember her name. Once again, coming along fantastic. The dress that she's got on, very much like the box art or the sample. Sorry, I gave you. The hair once again matches the actual fox. So for people who aren't familiar with this particular clan, you can jump between, so they can be foxes and then fox-like people, so they can jump between the two using MacGuffin magic, I'm assuming. They're a little bit vague on any form of detail on how this universe works.
And that's the only problem I really have with this game, right? It's like they've got some very nice and interesting looking models, and their new resin, because both of these ones are metal, but their actual resin kits are beautiful. Like, they are smoother than the Jokero. This Jokero, it's nonsense fine cast. It is not fun to work with. Like, this bit here, I wasn't sure if it was flashing or part of the model, and I painted it up now, and I'm like, I still don't know if it's flashing or part of the model, and I'm like, this is not a good sign, people. And like, the little discs that he's on, have warped. So I had to cut the discs off so that he'd actually fit into his base. And it's just like, oh my god, this is a nightmare. Who decided that Finecast was a thing, and why aren't they outside the back of a shed?
But even some of the earlier quality models from Bushido, they were very rough. Like,
oh yeah, the goblins, the goblins.
But those were metal models, the ones that you first
they were
got.
first runs, and like some of the times they were all right, and other times you're just sort of like, what the hell am I looking at?
What are those?
Oh yes, definitely.
No, but no, they're later models. So the ones that are coming out like late last year and this year, yeah, the quality is improved immensely, as they have mentioned. Like, they've gone through to now resin, where I think the original ones were die cast. But no, I'm both my sons and I love playing the game. It is a kill team alternative. It's got some unique rules and play styles, but yeah, the models themselves are quite impressive. There's a big variety, everything from a samurai shark to a goblin that vomits eggs.
I loved doing the sharks. I thought they were absolutely fantastic. But you know what?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
You know what the sharks really reminded me of? Like, I didn't talk about this at the time, but because this is going
Street sharks.
Yeah, street sharks.
Yes, I remember that when I was because I bought that for my oldest son, that clan. I was like, oh man, I remember street sharks. Man, what a time it was to be alive.
Yeah, no, and like that was the thing. So I'm gonna just show it here for a second, and
you know, for a '90s kid myself, I never did watch Street
I
Sharks.
think this is actually a fan art of it, but like, it's
But
not
to be
that
honest,
far off.
the animation quality was probably about on that anyway.
Yeah. And like, that's what they were like, but it was fantastic. I absolutely loved doing them up. And like, I think I got the shark skin texture right, and I was really happy with that. But
Oh yeah,
let us
when
move
we've
on.
done
Otherwise,
when we've done demo games here at the house, that's always the go-to. Everyone goes, "Yep, I'll play those ones," because
Yeah.
they did come out perfect. But yeah,
all right. So next up, we've got John, and Sonny, would you like to talk about this one?
Yeah, he's done a very nice drawing of what I believe is the Iron Hands.
Iron Warriors.
This is Iron Warriors?
Yeah, because they're the ones with the industrial striping. Iron Hands are the guys who lose their heads. They're not very calculated.
I don't know, it looks very Iron Handsy.
I think an unfortunate accident has happened. Warhammer Dad, would you like to say things before
No, I'm
any?
just trying to work out because they do have the 9, so I'm trying to work out, is that the 9th Legion was
No,
Iron
so
Warriors or the
it's the fourth.
Iron Hands?
Fourth.
See,
Okay,
yeah,
alright. So I guess it is the Iron Warriors then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the detailing with the hand and everything and nice posing. Definitely better than the one I drew.
well, to be fair, you did that one very, very quickly.
Quickly,
But
yeah.
the thing,
The struggle was real.
yeah, the thing I think I really like about this is it's got some very nice shadowing.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see this colored up, but I mean, like the coloring would mostly be white areas are now yellow.
Yellow, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Warhammer Dad? Before we move on, because this is a nice piece, I think.
Look, I can't draw to save my own life, and I'm a draftsman by trade. I think he's done very well. Like, he's got the detail, like, yep, bolts, muzzles, underclips, all of that. Like, yeah, he's picked up the detail quite well. I think he's done pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You should be happy with it.
Yeah, I think it's very nice. Like this, I'd say of all of his work that he's shown off here, I'd say that his drawings are the best.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next up, we've got James.
Yee! With Wednesday, been working on these miniatures this week. Took the suggestion to take my time and not rush. Still have lots to do.
Well, these are some interesting pieces. Like these are very board game pieces where like it's like, well, this thing's obviously what it is, and it's like,
What is it?
I don't know. What do you think, Warhammer Dad? Have you figured out what it is?
I have an idea, but I don't know if I can say it on YouTube. You've made it very clear what I can and can't say.
Yes. Well, you could use euphemisms, but yeah.
It looks like redacted.
But I think like once we see some more color on them, they'll sort of come together. But they look kind of like tentacles, but I've got no idea what game this is for or what's going on.
Yeah.
I just look at this and I'm just like,
because he's got a space marine there.
yeah, I think that's to show that he's been working on the Space Marine. But when I look at these, I'm just like, unclean.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought was first. Oh, yeah, it must be something to do with like Nurgle, or maybe something to do with the Tyranids. But like, I've got Death Guard and Tyranid armies, and I don't have anything even remotely close to that. So I'll be interested to know what game is that from, or is it from Warcry or any of the fantasy ones from 40K? Oh, sorry, from GW. Because yeah, then I can get a bit of a reference of, oh, yep, he's painting that close to what it needs to look like. Like the Ultramarine to left, yeah, I know what an Ultramarine looks like, and I go, yep, he's got that style down pat. Where these I go, not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking good, locking everything in.
Yeah. I think it's good. So shall we move on to our next piece?
Yeah.
So next up, we have
more from Cassidy Rose. It's been a busy week, he says.
So, oh, you know what? How much better does that look with the blue blocked in?
Very nice.
But I'm cutting off Warhammer Dad. So Warhammer Dad, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just going through. Geez, they've like a big. Not that there was anything wrong with the ones before, but man, have they come along a lot now that you kind of see them. Sorry, I'll just flick back. Did he say he was finished or he's still working?
I think.
Geez, they look.
I think he's still working on them, but I think like it's mostly just basing stuff to do now.
Yeah.
But like I look at them, I think that they're looking really good. But I'm cutting you off again, so let's hear your thoughts.
No, so the what is it called? The Night Watch?
Death Watch.
Death Watch. Sorry, the Death Watch. Yeah, I think all of these ones perfect. Yeah, there might be little bits and pieces you're still working on, but I would say like you're pretty much done with that. They've turned out well. The Necron, the only thing I would say is, yeah, maybe a couple of different colors instead of the one stock standard metal. Once again, with the Necrons that I've had in the past, or still have, I believe I've done all the guns a different shade of steel just so you can tell them apart. Or the rib cage I've gone quite silver, but then the shoulder guards I've left it bulk gun color.
Yeah,
but that's personal preference.
Variation between things, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Like-
understand what you're saying.
Like that model there, still, I would be quite happy with that. Like,
If,
he shouldn't be upset or anything.
if you're
more
going to
my
paint
style.
1 million of them, I think
Mm.
that's okay. But I think, like you said, with the different metallics, I think that could really push it a lot. The only thing that I would say with the Space Marines as is they could have quite like some highlights on them, because it seems like they're a bit flat as it is,
It could be the photo quality, because some of them I go, yeah,
Oh,
look,
you know
it's
what? That
all
was the
very
other
dark.
That was the other thing that I was going to say. Really needs a photo box, or at least an area to take photos. Yeah, like, because some of the background is like probably causing the light to what's that called? Overexposed.
Overexposed. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because Sunny is the photo expert, but yeah, I think it's looking really good. I think that they're very, very close to being done. Just some basing, and we'll see how it goes. Remember how I was saying with Forge, he just shows off things. Now it's John Gass's turn.
John is doing it as well.
It's like,
when I'm not painting minis, I'm teaching teenagers. This morning, 2 of my students left this on my desk. Today is a good day. Oh,
nice.
That's nice.
And those are either some very wealthy students, or like they really like you. Like
I choose the latter.
Like yeah, be worried.
Oh no.
It's funny. It's funny. She's shaking
Unless
her
it's
head
true.
and smiling. Yeah.
Well, actually, see, it could be the opposite. There's a lot of detail here, and I'm like, yeah, he won't have time to grade our papers. He'll be stuck into this for weeks.
It is like, if you if you dislike someone, buy them a horse. If you hate someone, buy them 2. Yeah, like it's like, if you dislike someone, buy them a Space Marine. If you hate someone, buy them a Space Marine. Castellan.
Yeah.
So we've had one of our commenters talking here. Would you like to speak for them?
Yes, so he's doing okay. A cold and wet day, playing some YouTube while painting my bolt action minis.
Nice.
Yep, and painter's block. Also I'm back. I'm doing all right.
But yeah, we sometimes go off on tangents, and our poor followers don't get to see things. All right, speaking of poor followers, I am going to explain this. I'm going to do it once. I'm going to try and not rage.
Oh dear.
Hey,
getting my flak jacket now.
You better button it up right. You don't want to be catching strays.
I'm getting my helmet too. Hang on.
Hey all, this message is mostly for the YouTube audience. We apologize for this. However, it is unlikely that YouTube will let a post about them suppressing a video get a lot of views. We will not be releasing shorts until the release of our main video. We apologize for interrupting your regularly scheduled WAYPN. Thank you for your understanding, and we hope you share and watch our suppressed video. What would you improve about GW? So, here's the thing. I will go through this quite quickly. All right, so right here, this is its percentage viewed versus its swipe away. Now that percentage is amazing, right? To put it into context, it is better than one of our best videos. So over here, I do believe we've got this was all taken from the YouTube Studio app. Come on, just work with me for once in your life. So, yeah, okay. So right here, this is one of our best rated videos, right? As you can see, 1 out of 10. In a similar period of time, it got 12,000 views, right? Now we go over to this one. Now, in its first 4 hours, it's got 200 views, right? That is worse than our worst performing video in the same time period. So here we can see how the things just aren't freaking working at all, right? Because that's our standard curve along there. And then what we do is right here, this is 10 out of 10, a worst performing video, similar period of time. Here's 4 hours, right? That's close to 2,000 views, right, in 4 hours. It has a similar swipe away rate to that of the best video. In fact, it beats the best video by, I think, almost 5%. So with this nonsense right here, how it works is essentially they are suppressing the video, and we can tell you why. The reason why is we originally released this as a members video. So they're saying that this is a re-upload, and it's not a re-upload. And the reason why other people don't have this problem is because they will use platforms like Patreon, like Ko-Fi, or just
for exclusive content and stuff.
And so they won't count it as a re-upload because it hasn't been on their platform yet. And what was really upsetting was the YouTube support team just lied to us from start to finish. They just kept lying and wouldn't stop lying. So I'm going to point people to this explanation, and we are very much considering doing a video on it. And yeah, it's very upsetting. So just letting you guys know what's happening there. But yeah, so all right, and we had WAYPN is always inspirational, even if I'm not a 40k player. Yeah, well, we try to talk about stuff other than 40k, but unfortunately, people like the 40k. All right, next up we've got Larry Hassenflu.
Yeah, wasn't sure if I should share before I was done, but the theme song won't stop. It's on repeat. So here's Michael as he is now. Need to get the eyes to be black. No oil, just beads up on it. So I'll have to just thin down some regular paint. The base is green in prep for the basing I planned. Still debating whether to add blood to the knife. Most stills and movie shots have it nice and shiny and threatening. So I'm thinking I'll leave it clean. Anyway, good music should be shared. So here you go.
So, Warhammer Dad, what do you think?
I like the model. It's striking. Like as soon as you see it, you know exactly who the character is.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what it's kind of going to be all about. But something that isn't like GW models dripping with tons of detail. It is very striking.
Well,
I agree. I wouldn't be adding any of the blood effect. If I recall, 99% of it, it's always shiny and sparkly.
yeah, no, but like even the fact that it doesn't have detail all over it, right? It's got great texture. Look at
Exactly.
look at all this texture. You can just dry brush that, and you'll be good to go. And I'm not going to say anything more because I tell you what, the basing is absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna go over to Joseph and we'll talk about him for a moment. But ooh, it's coming. It's coming.
It seems the captain is here.
The captain.
Yes.
I'm also the captain general in the Discord, Lamau. I forgot to change the YouTube name. Alright, so next up we got Joseph. Would you like to read out for him?
Yes. Let me see. I'm still laying down base colors to see how I feel about them. What colors should the scarf/shawl be? I was thinking red, but is that too similar to the burgundy? The flesh inside the cloak will get a red blood slick over it later too. This is a king from Kingdom Death.
Well, Warhammer Dad, you can start off things.
Yes, and what a way to start it. It's just got everything. The baby what would you even call that? Ribbons at the back.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
baby ribbons indeed.
that's a thing that is now being created. I would love to have been in the design meeting of I'm looking for something unique. Oh, okay. No. Imagine baby ribbons. Oh, like tiny ribbons. No. Ribbons made from babies. Okay. I'm gonna need to see how this works.
It's like, all right, Phil from accounting. These are some great ideas, but first, we need to check your basement for reasons.
We've received another complaint. HR has been notified. But no, I guess the model itself, man, it looks complicated. There's a lot of detail in this.
Well, for me, when I was looking at the cloak, I think maybe he could go a bit darker and keep it that burgundy color, like a sort of very rich dark burgundy. I think
like a blood red or even darker still.
No,
it's like a wine.
Yeah,
color.
more like a wine.
Okay. Yep.
As for the babies who are holding toes with one another,
For
I don't
dear
know.
life. Holding on for dear life.
I don't. Well, like also there's a lot of arms. It's just like this is Kingdom
more
Death,
babies
and like
on the inside
with
there.
the head up here, I don't even think it's a proper attached head. Like there's some arms lifting up the head, and I'm like, what even is this? What? Oh, all right, because I mean like this is meant to be some sort of like evil deep sea creature, I think. Maybe
deep sea creature.
I don't know.
It's a king.
I'm leaving. I've left.
All right.
The crown of hands is somewhat disturbing.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
So next up, it's me, and I've got an incredibly long title. Almost there. All right.
Yes.
So Warhammer Dad, what do you think of how this guy's coming along?
Yep. So once again, full disclosure, this surprise will be another one of my commissions that I've requested from Cal. So this is one of 3 Ogrins. The other 2 are for Blackstone, part of another expansion, blah, blah, blah. And this was the 3rd that we've just having a bit of fun with. I forget the name of the character.
Oh, so do I.
Ogrins?
No, he's got a special name. He's a special character, and that's why he's done up this way. Nat Deadog, I think his name is.
Oh yeah.
Because when you had the other 2, right, I realized that must have been their intention, like, because usually Ogrins come in groups of 3. So if you're going to have those other 2 for Blackstone Fortress, then obviously this is one of the ways to, get the most bang for your buck. You've got 2 for the thing, but I'm pretty happy with how the scratches came out. So some of these are painted, some of these are like real scratches, and I think that they've come out pretty well. That's what I'm happy with the most.
Yeah, very realistic. I like it a lot.
Also, same on his feet. Like those are all real scratches, I believe. I think there's some that are not. But also one thing that I was fairly happy with is how the boots came out. I'm not sure if we can. Yeah, let's take a look on this one. So I'll close these other ones. Just take a look at the boots here. So you can see all the little scratches in there. You know how it's all nicked and like that. But yeah,
All scuffed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's all the finer detail. Like with a lot of the models that you've done for me in the past, it's like layers. So you get drawn into the model. So yes, it is just an Ogren. Then you look a bit closer and go, there's dints in the armor. So you look a bit closer. Then, you've even got the glow effect around the cigar. So you look a bit closer. Then all the detail on the teeth, the eye sockets. Then you got the skin differentiation between, the different tones, etc., etc. So you get like drawn into the model and find more and more detail.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always enjoyed with a lot of your models is, you kind of hold it out at arm's length and start bringing it closer, and you pick up more and more detail.
Yeah, no, if you're doing models right, I believe for a commission, like they should look good both from afar and up close. Like that should be your goal. All right, so next up we have Larry Hassenflew, and look at this basing, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yes.
Oh my good lord.
The happy doggo has
Oh
come
yes, because like I love this hedge. The only thing is this. See that whatever the frick this thing is, just F it off. Okay, like because everything else is perfect. Everything else is just perfect. Like look at it, because it's a white picket fence.
Yes.
It's a white picket fence, and look, he's even got the nail dents in there.
Yeah.
Look right there.
Yeah.
The dents from the nails. Oh, come on, mate.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes, honey, you're becoming more and more Australian as we speak.
All right, so Warhammer Dad,
Very nice.
we will let you have your thoughts before we before
I don't know if there's
excited.
anything else to say after that.
But yeah,
No,
what do you think?
It's fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
geez, does that not pull it all together?
Yeah.
And you could almost use that as like a prop for the movie, or like a poster or something. Like it does look like almost like someone's done a diorama going like, and this is scene 63 out of whatever where he's here.
Yeah,
That's it. Like
almost,
that's how
it's almost a mini diorama. So
Yeah.
Penguin said some very talented painters out there, and I don't think that it's the painting here. I think because the thing is, I'm not saying that Larry is bad, right? But when we take a look at this, right, I think this is a very achievable paint job for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just the storytelling that he's done, because he's just put in these few details that have really made it come together. Like right there where we see those little nail marks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just little things like that. It's not crazy big.
It gives you something to appreciate.
Well, it's like everything about this. Everything.
Well, it's the level of care.
Yes,
when you look at it.
yes. Like somebody who actually cares.
He's tossed his nail file down, everybody. That's how passionate Cal is right now.
Yeah, but
Larry could have, soft knocked this in by just put a bit of grass on that base. That's it, done.
yeah,
He could have been finished, but he went that extra mile and went, cool. Like, I'm assuming he has handmade this fence. It doesn't look like it's a pre-made thing.
yeah.
So that would have taken ages. Then the hedge, he would have had to cut that down so it does look.
I don't think that
proportional.
the fence would have taken that long, right? I do think like he's built up some moss here, right? I'm not taking away from what he's done, right? What I'm saying is that if you or I or anybody else watching this wanted to do this, you totally could. But it's the fact that he's taken that care, as you said, just that care, right? And the thing is, it's all these little subtle details. So like the white picket fence isn't quite perfect, and that's how white picket fences are, right? They've got some of their paint rubbed away in those areas and that sort of thing. it's just, you know what you should do with this? You should have this not next to a DVD, next to a VHS
Ooh.
of Halloween, right? And it's just in front of it, right? And like it's its own diorama for that VHS. You know, just imagine like, or you know what would be just amazing, right? Is using like a VHS box and having this guy inside of it.
Oh.
You know, using that as the frame.
Like, oh yeah.
But like, just 10 out of 10. Absolutely 10 out of 10, right? And when we're looking at this, now, note, guys, I am not knocking Larry's painting abilities here, right? I'm just telling you guys that this is how you do it.
Mm.
There's dry brushing here, right?
This is how you tell stories
Yes.
with your minis.
Yeah, exactly. This is how you tell stories with your minis, right?
Video out now.
Yeah, it is. It literally is. But like, you take a look at it, right? And everything about it, right? You understand everything here, right? If you've got any backdrops, right? Like, even if you didn't have backdrops, right? There's this guy in a mask with a knife in like this big uniform, right? And he's got the white picket fence behind him, right? There is zero blood on this miniature.
Yeah.
There is no indications that this is from a horror movie, except all of it says that it's from a horror movie.
Yeah.
Right? You know what?
We shall move.
Yes, we shall move on.
Yes.
But I'm very impressed.
Excited about him, yeah.
Oh, and
yes.
Speaking of excited, it's time for you to be excited, Sonny.
It's Nicholas Pryor. Can I make the joke?
I'm not sure what the joke is.
Nicholas Pryor, not Nicholas After.
Oh, wow. Quality content here, everybody.
But when I saw this, right, my first impression was I saw the pants.
Yeah.
And I went, what are those? And then we see it on the model, and then I said this exact thing. When the model pulls it off better than the model. And I was like, oh my god, I made a pun. Because he's not a supermodel in the picture, but he's a physical model. And I'm like, oh my god, what a joke. But I think he did such a great job with the pants. Oh my god.
Also, I don't know if that's a freehand or a decal or like it's like indented.
Absolutely perfect.
So, yes, it is absolutely perfect. And usually I'd be like, you want some color variation with your white. You want like grays and that sort of thing. But that is perfect.
Yeah, especially because that works because it's a graphic tee, right? So it's okay for it to look like super stark white because it's a cartoon. It's not actual form. It's a two-dimensional thing on a three-dimensional surface. So that's good. And I think the skin was very nicely done. You can see all the very lovely shadowing in all the right places, and it's not too stark because it's so easy to get muscle crease too overshadowed. And I think he does just done a wonderful job.
I do feel it's a bit too orange, the skin, though. Like that's the only criticism I have here. And like, this is just an amazing piece. Like I think that choice of the camo is absolutely fantastic. But I realized that we have very much cut off Warhammer Dad here.
Yes.
So your thoughts, Warhammer Dad?
No, I would pretty much almost say exactly the same thing as what both of you have said. Like the pants, the camo, the patterns, being the fact that a lot of that would have been hand done, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
It's just
Nicholas
so
says
impressive.
It's freehand.
Sorry?
Nicholas says it's freehand.
Yeah, no, totally. It is.
Well,
is
then,
really good.
Nicholas, I'm gonna say I'm jealous and I hate you.
But yeah, sorry to cut you off there. I saw him.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic. Like, I understand it's a work in progress, so the comments that I would make is, oh, the gun,
that's
could
right.
you make it?
It is a whip. Like I didn't even realize it was a whip.
I know
It's
it's
finished. It's done.
it's so impressive. It's like, oh, that's right. Yeah. The only thing I noticed was, oh, the gun. You could probably define that a little bit more. Yeah, and that's about it. Like,
But the
other than that, it's fantastic. Like I said, I'm well jealous.
like when I look at it, I can almost see the I'm not sure if it was 90s or 2000s. What's his name, Punisher, from there, just being like, you know, I can just see his stone cold face.
Yep.
Like it's really good. I just think that the skin needs work, and I didn't realize that it was a whip, so I retract my previous statement, and yeah, I think it's looking great. If it's a whip, you just need to bring out some of the lightness in that. And next up, we've got the base for the Ogren.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is going to be a trench base. Would you like to comment, Warhammer Dad? So this
Yeah,
is how it started out, sort of thing.
it's good to see the process. Once again, you know, 9 times out of 10, we will only see the finished product. So we
Mm.
don't know how involved it is to get to that level, which, as someone who's not a fantastic painter, at least not at the moment anyway, you do get disheartened when you sit and see something finished. So to see the process of this is how it's being built, this is how you've done it, this is how you can get to this level, it
Yeah.
doesn't look as difficult to do. Like,
Oh no,
not
it's
taking away from what you've done. It's like,
yeah.
cool. So you've used sprues, you've used some paddle pop sticks, there's some alfoil. These are things that I can do. You haven't like got a jar of magic and that's how you've done it. It's like
Yeah.
these are things I could potentially do myself.
So what I'll just explain what I did here. So first off, I got some sprues, cut them to roughly about size, and then glued them with sprue goo onto the base so that I had a very stable base, and then I super glued these coffee stirrer sticks to the to that, and coffee stirrer sticks make much like a sort of much better paneling, because they have roughly the right dimensions for a panel of wood within scale. And then the reason,
So
yeah, go,
I was about to say, so if I can,
yeah.
coffee stirring stick, paddle pop stick, same, or are these two physically different things?
They are different. So
Yeah.
I'll just
Coffee stirrer sticks are essentially longer and thinner versions of paddle pop sticks.
yeah. So here's a paddle pop stick, and you should be able to see that they're actually quite a bit wider.
Yep.
Right, and so like let's say we were working in a different scale, it'd be all right. But when we look at coffee stirrers, and there we go.
So I
Like,
think back in my Lord of the Rings days, I used paddle pop sticks and then whittled it down to scale for
yeah,
those.
and essentially this will allow you to skip that step and just
And you can get this from any discount store. They'll have it,
yeah. Like I do think we had to look for coffee stirrer sticks for a little bit though.
Yeah, but I do remember we managed to get it from like for us I think it was the
like discounts galore, or
it wasn't discounts galore that we got these. It might have been actually.
It's like one of those sorts of names, like
and then
Silly Solly's discount.
Solly. I think the one that we usually go to is. Dang it, I forget the name.
All-Star Discounts or something?
No, the one, never mind, I forget the name.
Alright, but yeah, so that's this right here. And finally, unless we've got an update, it's Forge, and that's it. But I'm gonna click and see if there's anything more. So I think Forge has just done some painting on this one. He's just painted it in with that, but yeah, we will see what people have said. So okay, you were just giving
I was just responding.
Just giving some advice. All right, let's take a look. Is there anything new? No, it's just you. So, all right, Warhammer Dad, you've been in this position before. All right, is there anything that you would like to say to the viewers which you think is important, like something that's going on in our hobby which you think is important and needs to be talked about?
Yes. If it's controversial, I'm happy to drop it.
No,
But
no,
I,
go ahead, go ahead. You know, we will
the
let.
big thing, especially of late and over the past couple of months, is the politicalization of our hobby. Now, I don't care left, right, middle, center. I don't care. Politics should always be out of the hobby. We're here to game, we're here to play, we're here to have fun. But we seem to be seeing more and more, not just for GW, across the spectrum.
Yeah.
Things are becoming more political, and I think really we need to have a think about, is this how we want to go? Because yeah, there's enough politics is creeping into everything, and I see it more and more every day, and I would rather we don't.
Yeah.
Play the game. If you want to talk about politics, referendums, whatever, cool.
Talk
Out of the
about that
hobby.
elsewhere. Yeah, no,
Yep.
no, and
There's these whole things called political parties, and they love talking about politics. Go talk to them.
Yeah, no, and I have to say that I agree that we sort of look at it like it should be church, so to speak. I know that that's a bad allegory for some people, but I think like we've got fans within WAYPN who are very right, and we've got fans who are very left, right? And we don't see any aggro on here at all. Just people are they're just happy as a rat, just
Yep.
they're
Well,
doing.
we're hobbyists first.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
thing.
what we advocate for. Hobbying first.
And like I think that we need that. We need a space to walk away from that. Because I think that's the biggest thing for people, because I think a lot of people they need a space where they can sort of breathe.
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of people are unable to breathe at the moment, and I think this is what this should be for our people.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what WAYPN is starting to attract more and more people is it's not a case of, oh, well, so-and-so has posted this. So they're, this is their political agenda. It's like, no, they've posted this model because they like posting this model.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a political statement. It's not, oh, well, they're for the war, against the war. No, they just posted a model.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, great, I can post something. I can see models that aren't politically motivated, anything like that. But yeah, that's one big thing that I see more and more in the hobby is, yeah, it's now, oh, you collect this faction, this race, this group, this clan. You are politically, this way or that way or whatever. And it's like, just want to play.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all.
and like I think the thing is, right, I've seen game stores for me have always been sort of the ideal of what church should be, and just letting people know I'm agnostic. Sunny's Hindu.
Yeah.
But when
I'm
say
Shinto Buddhist.
Yeah.
We got everything.
Yeah, when I say that, I don't literally mean a church. I mean like a place where everybody is equal, rich or poor, strong or weak, left or right. You can come in there, and that's what I've loved seeing some guy who looks like an absolute Darrow, and some guy who's in a suit, and they're just both passionately talking to one another about the hobby, right? And like I've seen it with, Magic the Gathering and all of these other sorts of things, and every time it creeps in, I think it's a bad thing. I don't, because I want everybody to be welcome here.
Yeah, Penguin was saying that politics is killing historical wargaming and is creeping into the scale model scene as well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and like the thing is, right? Um, if we just look at this, right, and we just go, oh, that like the thing is, I don't want to know your political association. You're a cool painter.
Yeah.
You're a cool hobbyist, right? We don't need to know about everything. And I remember speaking with a friend, and they're from a different persuasion to us, right?
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, I disagree with you very muchly on one thing," and I'm like, "That's okay." They're like, "But I didn't even tell you what it was," and I'm like, "That's okay.
Mm.
People are allowed to disagree. We're allowed to be different, and for us, it's the hobby first and last." And I think on that point, let's sign out. All right. Keep those brushes
Brushes
wet.
wet.
Bye bye.
Bye.